All right, man, so we're here with Garrett, Amer. We're going to talk about exercise selection. So when is the right time to use certain exercises? We were just talking about it, actually, him and I. He's a power lifter, a bodybuilder, very good friend of mine. I've worked with him in the past, and we were just talking. I know he's very knowledgeable. So we were talking about exercise selection, and you know, people just randomly place exercise in a random fucking order. No reason why they're doing anything. They just throw shit in place, you know, they kind of wing through the workouts. What do you think about that?
People will read a magazine or they'll see a picture of Phil Heath, and he'll be doing, you know, Smith machine incline press. But what they're not seeing is when that's in his actual exercise. Like, is he doing at the end after he's worn out all those stabilizers, after he's pre-exhausted every other option? They're just thinking, okay, Phil Heath does a Smith machine press, I'm gonna look like Phil Heath. They need to learn proper periodization, proper planning, technique. They need to stick with the basics, learn, build off the basics. The basics work, that's why they're the basics.
I think, and I totally agree with you, and what I think is that most people just kind of throw the exercises in a random order because they think, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, my buddy does this, and you know, people, you know, I will tell people this is the wrong order to do it, or this is why you do it in this order. And they're like, well, I got stronger doing this. I already gained, you know, this much strength. What do you think about that? That's kind of, you know.
Yeah, but you need to look at the ratio. So a 250-pound guy, like, if I walk in the gym and start a strength training program, what I lift compared to a 150-pound person, it's a different ratio. You need to take that in perspective as well. Everyone's going to gain at a different rate. The main goal is constant progression. So if you take, you know, your weekly totals, if you're totaling at start 10,000 pounds a week of tonnage, as long as you're showing constant progression, it doesn't matter if I'm doing 20, 30, 40, it's progression. Progression is what's going to lead to long-term success.
And there's many variables for strength, right? You can't just look at one. There's so many different variables, so you have, you know, we have to look at all these different variables, and one of them is that exercise selection and exercise order, periodization, programming, and all those types of things. So we can't, you know, you can't say I'm stronger than you, so I know more than you, or this is what works best for me. You don't know what works best for you if you haven't tried the proper way of doing it. Maybe, you know, that guy that's telling you that he gained X amount of strength is running gear, you know, he's on drugs. So who knows if it's the drugs that got him stronger, or if he knows what the fuck he's doing, or he's just fucking around. Maybe he was not consistent with his workouts before, whereas now he is. So I think understanding how the muscle works, understanding why we do things, why we utilize certain rests, why we use certain intensities, rest periods, rest days, different types of things like chains, bands, things like that, where people just throw in their workouts because they think it looks cool.
Exactly. That's why anytime I work with anyone, the main thing I say, whether I'm doing the program or not, journals. Journals, workout logs, whatever you want to call them, they're phenomenal because you can track every single one of those variables, and then you can look back and be like, okay, this is what worked. Whereas, like you said, if you're just going in the gym and winging it, you don't know what's actually creating that benefit, what's showing that progress. You're just winging it. So you might get stronger week to week, but what happens when you stall out?
You don't know what the variable, that the limiting factor is, exactly. And you don't know how to break through that. Right?
You hit a wall, and then that's when you sit there and you hear those people, well, you know, I've been stuck at a 315 bench for 2 years. Okay, what have you done for 2 years? But you know, they're going in and starting with Smith machine, or they want a big bench, they're going in and doing incline dumbbells right out the gate. Well, why aren't you benching? They're not training specific for their goal. Like, you'll have bodybuilders going, I was terrible for this before I worked with you. I'd walk in and I'd go in and I'd one rep my squats all day. But what purpose was that serving? Like, the goal wasn't to get strong then, so why was I one repping everyone?
Yeah. It doesn't matter how much you lift if you're competing on a bodybuilding stage, right? So that's why I think the point of this video to teach you guys is that, you know, whether it's hiring a coach, investing in yourself, learning for yourself, and you don't need to hire a coach. I actually think most people shouldn't have a coach. I think you shouldn't hire a coach until you can get to a point yourself where you're consistent, where you're diligent, where you're putting in the work, where you are until a point where you could say, you know what, now I need a coach, right?
Exactly. Like, you need to get to a certain point by yourself, and again, it's self-love. Like, you're gonna feel better about yourself if you did something on your own. You didn't just go out and pay for something. It's like plastic surgery. You can go out and you can get abs installed, you can get tits done, you can get whatever you want. But what's the wealth in that? You didn't earn it. That's the benefit to coming in and actually putting in the work. You've earned that respect. You've earned those results.
And that's the thing. That's why most people give up from the gym, because they go to the gym every day, they see no progress, whether their goal is hypertrophy, muscle gaining, fat loss, strength gain. So why the fuck would you do something over and over, if it's going to become boring. Of course working out is boring if you're doing the same shit every single day with no reward.
Blind leading the blind. That's
Exactly. And how much do you, what is your total? So you guys know that he's not talking shit and that he actually can lift. He just won a meet at the Toronto Pro Show. What are your lifts right now, or your totals?
Total right now is a 410 bench in gym, 585 squat, which I'm hoping to open with at the next meet, which will hopefully be nationals. Deadlift, just missed the provincial record, so I'm pulling in gym right now. I pulled a 670. In meet, I've gone up to a 655, so planning to go from there.
And guys, just so you know, I don't want to hear any of your excuses anymore, this and that. This guy's in the gym, squatting, doing what he can, broken hand. He was just squatting for the last 2 hours. So, you know, guys, if you really want something, you put in the work. Where can they find you, man?
You can find us on Instagram at Pound by Pound Personal Training, or again, Facebook, Pound by Pound Personal Training. We try and get back to everyone as quick as possible with messages, inquiries, whatever it may be. Find us there.
And as always, guys, lift heavy shit, squat, deadlift, lift heavy shit, and sprint. That's all you guys need. Fuck all the machines, fuck all that other bullshit. That's all you gotta do.
That's how it is.
Peace.
Later.